Welcome back to the World Championship Series Europe Premier League. Grand Finals weekend, day 2 of 2, and 1 semi-final down. Gents, stop it. Don't start. I have to be a referee now. What an amazing performance by Yoda. That's 10-0 in his last 4 games in WCS. He's unstoppable now.
He looks like it, doesn't he?
Yeah.
We said it in the cast. Who is to stop this guy from winning the whole thing?
Yeah, he looks absolutely amazing. At the rate that he's going, he really does look like the strongest player in WCS. MC didn't even touch him. Golden had no chance. Nobody's really had a chance to even take a map off the guy, never mind a series. So he's the guy to beat right now. And his preparation for these series, it's very obvious that he knows and he's studied very hard. So, yeah.
Okay, we're going to move on to our second semi-final. It's San versus MMA. I think I read a couple of comments before last night which said, oh, it's a shame these two are on the same side of the bracket. It almost feels like one of them should be on the other side and then maybe they could meet in the final. I don't think that's too unfair, but it also is kind of disrespectful to Yoda and Golden in a way as well. But I kind of know what the fans mean when they talk about that, because these two are terrific players. San's had a fantastic year. MMA's had a fantastic year. They've both won a Premier tournament themselves as well. But we have to lose one of them now. Which one's it going to be?
San.
For sure.
Believe in MMA.
Why?
Believe. MMA is and always has been a world-class player. Sometimes he doesn't show it. Sometimes he doesn't play as well as he can do. But when he plays well, he is still that world-class player, and he can bring it out. Obviously, it takes a lot of time to bring that same animal out. Takes a lot of hard work and a lot of training, but he's put that in. He's ready for this, and he wants to win this more than anything. And when MMA wants something, he usually gets it.
Yeah, in the last month, 6 weeks, I guess it seems like we've got the other version of MMA back, the one that we found at the end of last year, actually, when he won Season 3 in WCS Europe. But why does he keep having these periods where he's nobody again? I mean, he's not a nobody, obviously, but he just had periods where he just doesn't seem to do anything, and yet we know how good he is. You've talked about that killer instinct, and the crazy builds and strategies he came up with yesterday were just sublime. It was back to what we knew before.
I think I know the answer. You know, when a young and handsome, rich Terran player, wants to take a little bit of time out, they do. And MMA does that. And then he's not as good as he was.
Talking of handsome Terrans, do you know any, Demislim?
Handsome Terrans? I mean, Yoda's pretty handsome.
Okay. I have no idea where this is going or why it went this way, but Sean really did throw us off track there. Demislim's like, what is going on right now? So I'm going to give you San to talk about, because he's just stole MMA. San's got a legit shot at this. He's got a legit shot at winning the whole of WCS Europe.
He certainly does. And when you talked about MMA and San being deserved of a final, sure, it sure does. I mean, if you saw this matchup in any final anywhere, you'd be like, wow, this is a final I have to watch. A great Protoss against a great Terran. But San,
he's been shaky.
He has been shaky. Like, I felt that San was amazing during the period of time where you didn't have to go Colossus, you could go Zealot, Archon, and those things, because he really has this raw style where he's got very, very crisp builds, and he'll just throw units at you. His PvZ, absolutely amazing. He has no shame in the matchup whatsoever, so he'll get that expo up, stop at 30 probes, and kill every Zerg possible. And he was doing that for years. But against a player like MMA, who he's just been preparing. And these Terrans, Yoda and MMA, they've both shown something very, very similar, which is they've both prepared insane amounts for each and every matchup. So San definitely got his work cut out for him here.
It's very interesting how these two players, MMA and San, the games they've lost in WCS Europe this season are against either of the players that we just saw in the other semi-final. It's quite weird how that's worked out. MMA's only lost this season 2-1 to Golden in a round of 16, and Yoda beat San. So what does that tell us about the strength of the bracket right now? It's top heavy, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, a great top 4 as well.
Yeah.
I mean, we said that from the round of 8. I mean, you could pick roughly 6 players to win it all. Any one of them could have won this entire tournament. So it's been a good season. Yeah,
apart from your fantasy team, which is kind of blown up at the end.
MC.
He's just going to blame MC for that.
Yeah.
You just need to get Yoda on your next fantasy team, because the way that he's going, it's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost a shame that he's peaked very late in the season. Obviously, a little bit too late for BlizzCon, which is obviously a shame. He's not going to be able to make that now.
Yeah.
But take nothing away from him. The last couple of months have been terrific for him. Final thoughts then on San and MMA. What are we thinking here? I have to put you on the spot, Ben. You've got to pick one.
MMA has been my favorite player for the last 3 years, and going against him just seems stupid at this point. I chose 4GG over him, and MMA absolutely blitzed him. So, yeah, I'm going to pick MMA, and it's going to be 3-2.
Okay, 3-2. Score?
San has been shaky on the way to where he is today. Like you said, he hasn't quite been the player that he was earlier on in this year. And MMA has become stronger and stronger as the years goes on with his DreamHack win, and then coming into this tournament, he's looking on form as well. I'm going to say MMA 3-1.
Okay, interesting. Both of you going for MMA. San, having not got past this point in the previous WCS, previous champion MMA, is that going to play any part in this?
Wait, didn't Sam make the finals against Stardust?
Yes, but lost.
Yeah, he did lose.
He hasn't won WCS Europe and MMA.
You know, when
has.
San first came over, he was this Korean superstar, this Protoss player that nobody had ever seen before, and just absolutely owned everybody. And against Bunny, we all gave credit to Bunny because he did so well as a foreigner, but we have to give a lot of respect to San too. Like, in most of those games, he started off very, very behind. In his force fields in the game on Foxtrot, for example, he was going for a DT build, and he managed to hold off that entire push with a tech that he had to keep hidden.
There's been glimpses of brilliance from San.
Yeah, there certainly has, so we can't count him out by any means.
Okay, thank you very much, gents. Going to come back to these fine gentlemen at the end, of course. We're going to get a nice big wrap-up at the end of the night as well after the presentation, where we will have more fun and jinxery with these two when they're not poking each other in the ribs. Let's move on to our second semi-final. More hype incoming is with Kalaris and Todd as we bring you our second semi-final. Can MMA win his second WCS Europe title? He's got one more game to go if he can win this one against San.
All right, thanks very much, guys. Welcome to the Casters Desk for our second semi-final of the night. As MMA takes on San. MMA looking pretty good so far in this season, whilst San has looked a little bit shaky. But, I mean, I previously said, don't count Golden out. That didn't go so well. But let's not count San out here, overall.
Interesting choice of words, the Muslim. He's looked shaky, and his PVZ is shameless.
It's a brilliant way to describe it. It's true, though.
I'm going to be keeping those words and using them in the future as well. But actually, can we stay honest here?
Oh, God.
We are going to have a TvT finals here, most likely, Kailaris.
You've been saying this from the dawn of this entire season.
And it's going to come true. Oh, MMA.
Uh-oh. 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 Well, nothing needs to be said about that.
MMA is definitely a guy who's getting cheekier and cheekier every time we see him on camera these days. You know, he's been joking around. This one time he beat Live Zerg at DreamHack, and he made a good joke, or you decide. A lot more hesitance here, San. But MMA said he was Live Zerg, and now he's dead Zerg after beating him.
Yeah, I remember that.
So good attempt.
Yeah. Wow, I really wasn't expecting that from these two, but there you go. So San technically has a really good ratio against Terrans, but as of late, it has looked a little more volatile. He lost against Yoda before. He lost against Paul, Detroit in Red Bull, and then 3-2 against Bunny, really being taken to the very, very verge, the very edge. MMA is the kind of guy going into this series, I feel, that he goes in with the advantage. This isn't San's best matchup.
It's safe to say the matchup has changed a lot recently. And San's going to have to make the most of it. And, you know, he's played a lot of different styles, but overall, it really feels like right now you have to go into Colossus before anything. And MMA, knowing that, he's going to have a great opportunity to try and counter it well.
All right, well, let's get into it then. Game number one of this semi-final, as we have spawning over on the left-hand side of the map. It's our red Terran representing Team Acer. It is MMA. Fans. And down to the bottom right-hand corner, we have our blue Protoss representing Your Flash Wolves. It is San.
We're starting here on MMA's first pick, Catalina, which does not surprise me. You know, Catalina, Merry-Go-Round, Nimbus, definitely some good picks that you can go for as a Terran player. So for San here, the trick's really going to be in picking a good build. And by that, I mean, you know, unit composition, I'm guessing Colossus, some Blink Stalkers to try and basically jump from base to base, especially that from that third base into that main, if he was to take a third base, which, I mean, knowing San, he doesn't do that many two base, you know? He's definitely capable of doing one or two of those here and there, but most of the time, San is really that guy that will sit back, do some small control aggression with a War Prism, and take more bases, you know, tech more, get more upgrades, tech to Storm and all that. So we saw him actually do some very good things yesterday with like a War Prism, some Templar, some Zealot, you know, in his series against Bunny. He's going to need to do that a lot better, though, against somebody like MMA, who's just so solid.
Do you think MMA, with, you know, you saying he is solid, but at the same time, do you think he could mix something in a little bit crazy here against San? We've actually seen him going for kind of more aggressive builds than I'm normally used to seeing from MMA.
He's actually going for gas first on this map, which on 3-players map, when you go gas first, you're kind of hoping that your opponent's not going to scout, and maybe you can surprise him with whatever it is that you're going to make out of the factory, maybe even say starports. And in this case, remember San yesterday already. No scout at 13 almost ever, only in the last game. He saved it for the last game. So knowing that, MMA here, a good thing he could do is to keep on mix it up like Bunny did yesterday, sometimes with some gas first, sometimes even with the I think CC first, much like Bunny did yesterday.
Well, San's going to keep his probe hid around the back of this mineral line and having a look around, just in case, well, on one thing, to make sure that he's not going to get caught out by any SCV that will come along and spot that if it was scouting in the right direction first, or even if it was a Reaper opener, he would be able to try and keep that alive and then throw down the Nexus, which has been thrown down now by San. So a little game played by him to begin, but didn't really need to because of the scouting location.
Still no scout, actually. Oh. No, it's going to be for the third pylon. Actually, I'm actually surprised, because usually, if you don't go for a scout at 13 after Gateway, you usually at least will go for it after you make the Nexus. You know, you will try to basically get around that Reaper that's headed for your base that you most likely expect, which on this map, I've covered this again yesterday as well. It's the better map, probably the best map for Reapers. Just you can get into the main very easily and get a good scout. But MMA is playing that one mind game that San is going to expect it anyway. And since he doesn't scout early on, he's going to try to surprise him with double Hellion. If this is not spotted and reaches the mineral line, even with one Stalker and one Mothership Core shooting at those Hellions, they could do a lot of damage. And by that, I mean, even killing 6 to 8 probes is a lot, just for the 2 Hellions that MMA is rushing for. So interesting build and opener here already out of him.
Speeding across here. MMA has really diversified his play as of late, and it's shown in spades. 5 minutes on the clock, and these 2 Hellions are already on the way over. So,
and he's not blocking the ramp. Usually you'll at least put that one Stalker around the ramp, unless you think there's going to be a Reaper, but the Reaper timing already expired here, kind of. So San, he's going to have the Photon Overcharge to work with, but actually the Mothership Core is pretty far away. 6 to 8 probes is a good number here.
Ooh, the extra Stalker popped out just in the nick of time to try and help this out. He's at least going to get 1 probe, but a second probe that was already weakened was pulled back. So does only deny 1 probe from dying off. So that wasn't too bad. Good defense there by San.
I think MMA messed up a little bit. He definitely had to get in there a lot more as far as, you know, getting inside of the mineral line. But I guess maybe he was afraid of first round, which, to be honest, is not always the worst thing that you can have happen to you. But if you lose those aliens very quickly, then they don't kill anything, then it's not worth it. And in this case, just 1 kill, definitely not the greatest opener that MMA was hoping for.
At least the Hellions getting in there, it didn't cost him a scan to spot that the Robo facility was going down, right? So spotting the tech during all of that was at least one thing that came out of it nicely.
Definitely. And I mean, you wouldn't have liked to have to scan in this situation also, because you know, the command center was delayed a lot. But behind this, you know, MMA, he's got his add-ons, he's already getting Steam Pack, he's going to go into a starport with just the 2 barracks that he has, so he's not going to have the most bioforces possible, but he's going to have medivacs quickly enough that he can start dropping left and right, which is what he's so good at anyway, so I don't think he minds too much here, the situation.
And speaking of minds, he's always setting 1 up on ramps, making sure that he can just catch anything that will come up, even if it just gets 1 unit kill, or even if it delays a probe from going up there and taking a 3rd eventually. It's a really, really good position to really annoy his opponent.
Yeah.
So he certainly likes mixing that in a lot, and it does well for him.
You can always expect Protoss actually to want to take that base that's near the Widow Mine rather than the other one. San doing a good job with his first observer here to see exactly the timing on those medivacs, which is very, very important. I mean, now he's going to be able to see them start at about the same time he starts his first Colossus, so he knows that he should have that on time by the time MMA reaches his base.
Yeah, Marines are hunting it down as well, though. They saw it a little while ago. Does pick it up. So an observer kill at this point is a nice start, but there's still 3 on the map, most importantly, one of which has already found the mine, and he should be able to clear that out later on without any losses, which is a nice little start here for San.
That's San for you. Actually, San since there was such a specific opener here by MMA, and he scouted the main and he saw only 2 barracks and quick medivacs, he was a little bit paranoid about maybe having a hidden base out on the map. So he went all the way around the map with his 1 observer and cleared basically the entire top right side, every single base.
Wow. So really taking precautions here is San. Unfortunately, though, because that observer was cleaned up in the main, he didn't really see this load up, so he's going to spot it a little bit later than he would like to. It's going to actually be really close. It should go over that observer in the end. But, he actually finds a great little spot to engage through.
Yeah, he's just going to rush in there, get 1 or 2 pylons, I think. Shouldn't be able to get more. I mean, actually, San, he just got his Twilight Council, so he's not even researching Blink just yet. And so Marines in the natural are killing probes left and right. MMA already applying pressure on San.
Nice, nice. 5 workers have already gone down. He got those 2 pylons as well and got out with all of these units' lives up to the top right. There's a pylon up there, and he's on patrol with a probe, so he's got that top side really on lockdown, really covered, so you can see when this is going to be loading up, dropping in once again. At the cost of a probe, I don't think that's too bad if he actually wants to go for it.
And MMA, on this map, I really like this choice. He goes for barracks 4 and 5 before going for a 3rd base. That means he's going to be getting a lot of bio outs, and yeah, he's just going to want to look to drop and outplay San wherever he's positioned, try and outdo him completely. I really like the position on that pylon, by the way, on the right-hand side by San, you know, trying to complete your wall of vision and information with observers, zealots, pylons is really a great way to see those coming, but MMA just too smart for that, just drops, kills it, and denies a little bit of vision to San.
Yeah, another observer died in the main, but he's spawned in San in one of the worst locations on this map because there's so much area here for these medevacs to just sit around and do whatever they want for the longest of time. If you don't have a Stargate, you're not going to be dealing with those for a long time. You're going to have units always sat in your main base waiting for that kind of play.
Yeah, this is really starting to take form here as well. MMA's plan basically is to never allow San to take a 3rd base. He's getting his own 3rd CCs. He scans to kill a few observers, and now San is already lacking vision. Look, for 1 second, he was barely going to step outside of his base.
Oh, he could get the robo. He's trying to focus it down with these units, and it's going to fall very rapidly. A really nice pickup here for MMA. Gets out of there. Very well done.
Yeah, and I mean, with losing that robo, San is faced with a choice. Does he do another transition? Does he try to go into Charge Lord Templar, or does he, see, he starts the Templar Archive. So I think he might just give up on a Colossus tech from there. He has Thermal Lance already, so I guess maybe he could resume when the robo finishes, but I mean, he's doing a very good job. Actually, San is like one of those Protosses that gets the most units out at the time. He never misses a warp-in cycle. It's like literally the Yoda of Protoss. Like, his money never goes really high, so he's doing a very good job of that. But when MMA starts taking a 3rd, how is San going to take his?
Yeah, it's such a horrible position for San. He's got these drops on either side of his base, always threatening. How does he even move out with the entirety of his army or do anything when this is always a big threat? He's got Storm on the way, yes. He's eventually going to have a really strong composition. But if MMA is always leering around and making sure that he can't do much, it's going to be difficult.
It's all about having enough units in the right place here for San, and actually, the 2 observers that he has is... Oh, he's got 3 now. He's really making most of them. Like, in terms of vision, San is doing a very good job around his base to try and spot as much as possible. I guess that left-hand side base is going to be scouted soon, and he's going to be very exposed. So I think MMA is going to want to look to do some Doom drops in the main, and at the same time attack the 3rd base very soon. The thing is, Colossus plus Storm. This is really the time where San is going to start being the strongest here against MMA's army, and MMA's army's strength is going to be the mobility and everywhere that it can be at the same time.
Quite a slow pace to this game so far, as MMA has just poked and prod here and there, looked to, in essence, contain his opponent away from that 3rd base for a while, whilst his 3rd base is up and running, good to go. He's sending a ton of SCVs over there, getting that mining now. And San has now established his 3rd base at least, but still, look at this. MMA is always on the perimeter, looking for opportunity.
You know, San actually, rather than making more Colossi, he's getting Immortals 1 at a time, which means he cannot get any more Observers for now. He's only got the 3 that he has to work with right now, which I guess is an okay number, but you know, as cool as it is to get Immortals when you know somebody's getting a lot of Vikings, it really feels that you're, like when you're gonna fight, you're really gonna feel like that you're missing Colossus.
Yeah.
The buffer that they give, the DPS and all that, so he's gonna rely a lot on Storms here, and MMA actually still no Ghost Academy, I believe, which At this point in the game, against that many High Templar, there is only 3.
This could be scary, considering the direction these medevacs have gone, and there was a hole. If this observer didn't spot them, then there is a massive hole opportunity.
I'm actually surprised that San is not anticipating this. Because like I even mentioned it earlier. Doom drops in the main, attack on the third. This is really the way this is supposed to go here.
He sees it. This observer catches it, which is a nice start for San. But at the same time, still, he is way out of position to deal with it. He doesn't really have that many units there. Feedbacks, though, does get one of the medevacs to start this engagement off. But that's a lot of units being piled down. That one Colossus, the saving grace, really, pushing all of this back.
Very good defense here once again by San, but behind this, MMA's economy has been untouched the entire game. He's getting the Ghost Academy. He's gonna have 2-2 finishing in a second against a Protoss who also gonna have 2-2 a little bit later. It's 2-1 right now. So man, this is a battle of macro and somebody attacking and somebody defending with just small skirmishes. But believe me, this is from both players. This is very intense right now. Like, they're feeling the intensity of MMA, you know, trying to drop in there and do some damage, and San defending the whole time, which he's done a brilliant job of so far.
He'll just get out of there. He gets the one medevac that didn't even have anything in, so not that valuable a pickup there for San as his opponent was retreating out. And for now, even getting that probe, denying any kind of extra pylons going down.
Ooh, big storms. Ooh. Big storms in the army of MMA. Actually, the medivacs were a little bit out of position, and since he made so many Vikings, by the way, he doesn't have that many medivacs. Or I guess, yeah, some of the other ones, I guess, are across the map.
Army supplies, 136 to 111. Those Colossi, though, don't want to be walking there. One gets taken out.
San wants to go for a very dangerous timing here with a lot of Templars before there are that many ghosts.
Yeah, this could work. This could work, especially if he's able to deal with those ghosts. He has to be very, very careful about how he engages this. His High Templars are very clumped up during all of this.
Yeah, he's starting to proxy some pylon here as well. He's going to send some units inside of that third base, try and bait MMA outside. MMA, he started researching 3-3. He's got personal cloaking on the way. There is only 2 observers on the map, and they are nowhere near the army.
The Ghost tried to get forwards, but he didn't get to those High Templars. The Storm, as well as the units, did kill it off. Another Ghost is going to walk forwards. He gets a big EMP on a few of those High Templars to start this off. Will chase that away.
San has no Storm. He's going to get chased down here and lose a lot of units. So he does have one.
Catches quite a bit of the army, but it's not enough to stop this force from moving forwards. Although he's not really controlling this, the Zealots will get torn down, and there's no Colossi left, so there's not that much splash damage. Meanwhile, MMA even dropping in the third base. EMP the High Templars again for good measure, and this army's going to get obliterated.
Of course, he's dropping the third base. It's MMA, man. He's done a bunch of damage there, killing a few walkers. One Templar is going to come back in position, not even going to storm. And MMA picks up, and with that big win here, actually, Colossus.
Catching that brilliant move from MMA again, just to jump on the opportunity, almost gets it.
Another Colossus was actually just across the map and died. So San, he's lost so many important units here. It's obvious he was going to get counterattacked behind this just because the entire Colossus count plus the Templar count was pretty much reset. So now he's on basically about to die.
Yeah, he has very little splash damage. That one Archon, that one Colossus that's also very weak is all that he really has here. He's going to have a lot of Zealots to buffer, but they just had their shields ripped off by that EMP, catching a lot of them. That one Colossus has so much work to do, but there's no Vikings. Another Colossus is going to come and try rendezvous with this. He brings a few of the Marauders over, but the Zealots tank enough to push it away.
Yeah, San holds for now, but I mean, MMA, he's got 3-3 all about to finish here. He's getting, actually, Widow Mines out, I guess, since he knows that he's killed the entire Colossus count. These could be good. And San just start +3 armor, but I mean, what's the Templar count at this point? It's only 1. He's got 2 Colossi. Those really are the entire strength of his army. And again, MMA gonna go for the same old move, the drop in the main and the attack on that other base.
I wonder where they were going, and they was like, oh, just going over to the 4th base, never mind.
The 21-minute pull the boys.
I was going to say, that was a bit strange, but there you go. MMA now looking to drop in the main base, looking to do some damage there. There is one High Templar for a feedback, but doesn't really do a whole lot. He keeps shutting down a good portion of the AoE damage from San.
That was a very sad feedback, actually.
Yeah, it really didn't do a whole lot.
He's like, I'm not going to kill you or do any damage, but what the hell anyway.
I'll go for it, me as well. For now, though, MMA is still sat at these 2 locations, making it a little bit hard for San to really breathe.
He's now on 4 bases with a 5th. Actually, he flew his main to that other base. That's pretty cool. Playing it
yeah, that's nice.
The old Night Elf style from Warcraft 3, where you can move your bases.
They were slow, man. Those walked really slow, if I recall. But anyway, command centers fly slow as well, so it's all okay. MMA set up here. He's allowed San to get a little bit of more momentum behind this army, that's for sure. A lot of Colossi. There's actually not that many Vikings, if I recall.
I think MMA is right to wait for ghosts here. He could try to draw, but then he will expose himself to basically risking to lose the game against a San who, in defense, has been immaculate. I mean, his defense every single game against Bunny, even in this game, has been great.
Yeah.
It's really the attack that he messed up where he got EMP'd.
Good Storm, catches those units. Oh, tries to go for another one, forces the lift on out. But it was on this map as well where he had some good defending against Bunny. I think Bunny overpowered in the end, but I mean, regardless of that fact, it doesn't really matter because they both played a phenomenal game in that series, and once again we're seeing a phenomenal game out of MMA and San.
San has so much gas, by the way. Why isn't he getting more Templars? Now finally he's making a bunch. I guess he doesn't have that many gateways or something. Oh no, he's on 10. A little bit weird.
Well, 5 extra ghosts are on the way, so he's going to have to keep up in that number, that's for sure. It's 6 ghosts at the moment against 5 High Templars, but with those 5 ghosts coming out, that really puts the number in his favor. And that base is being blocked.
What's happening here? That's some content if I've ever seen one.
Yeah?
Those SCVs turn around very quickly. They were headed there.
I don't want to get stormed. Don't want to happen.
I really like the sensor tower. This is going to give MMA so much vision. Like, he literally is going to have vision into the fights, even especially if he leapfrog with one more. But
I dropped the scan initially. Oh, good EMP as well. Those High Templars were very, very eager. More eager than I normally see, but Storm drop, perhaps? Oh, good pullback. Run away. Wow, MMA is on top of things.
Yeah, definitely a quick reaction here was important. MMA mined out his natural just now.
No! No! Stop dying, probes. Run away. Okay, so a few more High Templars going to come in from the flank. Oh, okay, you ran away the first time, but not second time, my friends. That was a big chunk of damage.
I don't think MMA mines too much. He's almost maxed out. He's got a lot of orbitals.
Gonna get the third, and that's still healthily mining. So nice pickup, drops the storm, but it doesn't hit in time. We're gonna go straight to the natural as well. MMA's all over the place.
Yeah, I think San's gonna photon overcharge that and defend it easily. He has 1 Colossus.
Get out of there.
Another nice feedback. Big engagement. San might have finally lost patience.
Cloaks up, but there are observers there to keep an eye on those ghosts. Really can't do a whole lot during that. The Vikings need to do a lot of work here.
No, there was no observer, actually. Finally, now they are. He just brought back the observer, but it's too late. He lost everything.
Yeah, that's just too much damage has been taken. Too much damage. High Templars walk forwards, but they don't even have energy for it. They go for the feedbacks, but no storms available. MMA also going for the robo facility as well. Jeez, he just keeps holding on, and there you go, GG. Overwhelms superior play from MMA in game number 1. And the crowd says it all. Wow, wow, wow. MMA has the crowd behind him after game number 1, showing a brilliant performance. San held on for a long time there, but was unsuccessful in the end.
I'm a big fan of the timing that he wanted to go for. It, you know, he had a bunch of Templars. He knew ghosts were being made, and the more he was going to wait, the worse the situation was going to get for him. So it was finally the one timing for the first time where he could move out, go for an attack that was going to be very dangerous. It's just the positioning. And if you think about it, he could have done so much better with it. He could have started making cannons, you know, establish a position just right out there, not let his opponent come down the ramp and EMP everything. And yeah, he just messed up everything with the Templar control, which is very, very hard to do. Like, the best way, I think, is not to group them and just to place them everywhere as mines and be like super fast in selecting them and storming when the Terran moves out. But if you group them with your army, even as group number 2, they're going to be clumped up together. And if you get them EMP'd, I think like MMA code like 3 or 4 Templars with 1 EMP, that's enough of a mistake to lose a game against a Terran like MMA. He's just going to chase you down, kill everything. If you don't have Storm to cover your retreat, then you lose your entire army, which is what happened here. But somehow, behind this, San did somehow manage to make enough unit to barely hold on for some more time. But then from there, he was just so far behind the whole time.
A tough start there for San. And as you said it rightly at the very beginning, you know, MMA in this matchup right now looks solid. And even there, he just looked solid, stringing his opponent around left and right, holding off those kind of aggressive moves at the very front. So game number 2 now on the way. Can MMA continue the pace, or will San catch up? He certainly has to here in the round of 4. Game number 2, semi-final. As we have, spawning down to the bottom left-hand corner, it is our Red Terran, currently 1-0 up. Representing Team Acer, it's MMA. And up to the top right-hand corner, we have our blue Protoss. Representing your Flash Wolves, it's San.
I've talked about how San doesn't scout all that often early on, and MMA again, I think we should focus a lot on checking, figuring out how he wants to open here. But could go, you know, for something like a command center first and be very safe with it. And I mean, it's MMA. There is really no build that will surprise me out of him. I guess if you went for one base all-in, that's one of the things that really would surprise me. But anything that's macro-like, that includes command center, bioforces, and medivacs, I wouldn't be surprised. And it's going to be a Rax 12 and Refinery 12. So a pretty fast Reaper, you know, that you can get out to get a good scout with. And for the first time, actually, San, in a while again, he's going to scout not too late after he gets his gateway up. He really only did it, I think, the one time in the last game against Bonnie. Other than that, never really went for a quick scout. Well, I guess the game on King Sejong where he proxied all in with the target doesn't really count.
Not too much.
It kind of counts as a scout.
I guess, I mean, in the end. But with MMA moving out, you know, I don't see any reason for him to really change too much up. I think his little pokes and prods earlier on are very nice. The
Whoa.
2 Hellions even were cool.
San didn't even check if there was a gas.
Oh, why didn't he go so far?
Well, I guess he probably knows, like, no Terran really ever does gasless expand anymore these days.
True.
Except maybe a happy or cast on leather. They like to keep it old school sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
San
He's just gonna go home.
Confirmation. And this SCV could technically be annoying for a little while at this natural. Second probe's coming down there, so zap, zap, zap away, and then the second one coming in to maybe zap as well. Could cause it some genuine problems. Health falls down just a little bit quicker, and whoop, has to be careful. That probe is looking to intercept. Oh, that is like a centimeter off. Ugh. Poor little guy.
Some great commentating here, Kelaris.
Probe on SCV action. Well, Reaper's on the way at least, so...
All right, San behind this. A standard play would be just to go for a Robo, you know, and just getting a few Stalkers out, and then later on just play it normal, you know, with Colossus and Blink. He could do something like a quick Twilight on this map, you know. It's very easy to hide in comparison to some other maps. You see he starts his Stalker, so he's going to try to keep that Reaper out with just the Mothership Core that he's going to have, plus that one Stalker. And MMA, on the other hand, he's going to be playing that old Bomber/Pulse build where you get the 2 additional barracks, so you go up to 3 and you have a lot of bioforces to possibly do a timing with. Remember, we saw Bunny actually kind of try this as well in one of the games against San. And yeah, it's going to be a Twilight. I feel so happy when I'm right.
Good job, Todd. You pro Protoss player, you. I think overall, though, I don't think this Reaper's probably really going to get back there. It's going to be difficult for him to actually spot that. The Stalker's already out. Mothership Core is there as well.
If he tries to go when there is 2 Stalkers, he can't. But if he somehow went in now, which...
For a suicide mission, or...?
Yeah, suicide mission, but then he will get the scouts.
Yeah.
Well, actually, yeah, if he went... No, I don't know. I don't know why Terrans wait for this long sometimes and then go for it. I feel like past 6 minutes 40, when the second Stalker is about to come out, you shouldn't go back in, because then you will die, and a lot of the time you won't see what's up. So what a lot of Terrans do is they keep their Reaper alive. They claim the watchtowers, they make sure they know whether or not there is a quick third base going up, and they gain so much more information than with just losing it.
Yeah. And they can use it as well to like scout out the map as well, just in case a pylon's going to go down to be aggressive itself. But he's going to try and jump in, and it's unsuccessful. That second Stalker with the Mothership Core helps out tremendously, as you mentioned, Todd.
So is he going to scan now?
It kind of has to get some information, right? I mean, you saw the gas timings, but that's about it. Not much more than that.
Yeah, the thing is, you see the Marines in the main and the Marines in the natural. He's ready for an Oracle. He's ready for Blink because he's on 3 racks and pumping out a lot of bioforces. What he's not ready for is potential DTs. So that's the one thing he somehow needs to look out for. But I guess DTs are just so unlikely, generally speaking, that a lot of the time you have to cut some corners. Like, you can't try to scout for everything, otherwise you're not going to be ready for the specific one thing you're playing against. And actually, MMA even walled off his ramp. That's pretty cool.
Oh, wow.
Even if there was to be DTs, he has a wall of depot at his ramp.
Yeah.
That he could close not to let some in the main.
I really like that. I mean, why not, you know? You can always lower it yourself if you need those units out. I mean, on the other side of things, though, San has sentry at the top of his ramp to make sure nothing crazy is going on himself, adding on extra sentries as well. Very low in terms of army supply. Only these few Stalkers at the back to keep himself well defended. And these
the photon of the child, man.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, with the force fields at the front, that can hold off for a long time.
Wow. San, I think we saw him play a similar build yesterday against Bunny. He went for the Robo Bay shortly after. Wow, that's a great scan right there.
Oh, throws a double forge down and then is instantly spotted.
So same build that we saw him do earlier, with which you need to stay on 2 bases for quite some time. I think, wasn't that the build he did in game 1 against Bunny and he ended up losing with it?
Not sure, but compared to game 1 from this series, the Robo's a little bit later, right? Because he got the Twilight Council before in this one.
The Robo Bay, but he's gonna have Blink to work with, and ideally he'd like for MMA to maybe try and drop, in which case you can really kill his Medivacs easily. But MMA, he's played this well. He didn't go in there too quickly. He's made a lot of bioforces. San actually photon overcharge as this time. He wasn't even there yet.
It's really early. Force fields should be able to hold this at bay though in the end. Get some cancellation on one of the pylons, but haphazard force fields don't really split too much up here, actually, as the Zealots just get disintegrated during all this. Time Warp has to go down as well to try and prevent this from doing much more.
He's not just doing damage, he forced Photon Overcharge plus a Time Warp. That means when Medivacs come out, there is not going to be any Photon Overcharge ready. So a big win here for MMA, who traded some of those units. He kind of caught up in Walker count as well at the same time too, because San was cutting. So now it's 50 SCVs to 45... the other way around, so sorry. 50 probes to 45 SCVs.
And if he finds a hole to drop during this 2-base situation, he knows that so much gas and minerals is sank in that double forge that there'll be less units there to really do a whole lot. Oh, did that Marine down to the bottom just spot that pylon?
Yeah, it killed, I mean, it killed the probe and the pylon. Every Terrans check here nowadays, especially great ones like MMA. Come on, this pylon is so 2013. This doesn't work anymore.
No, it does not. MMA is on top of things. He's a 2014 Terran, that's for sure, especially considering his recent form. And just barely. Did that get spotted? Very, very close. But MMA now looking for the load up. He is going to try and run with the advantages that he had from that little engagement before that you were mentioning and try and find a little bit of weakness here. Not that many Stalkers, only 4.
Yeah, he's getting a few more now. You don't want to get them that fast, because you don't need them early on unless you know you're getting dropped. Like, you get them when you're about to be attacked and when they're going to be useful. MMA
who's straight on out, does not want any of that. Those Stalkers were ready and waiting. Also opening up these rocks to enter, well, to be able to give him a few more attack options.
MMA's vision on the map is ridiculous. He literally has the entire middle of the map covered in terms of vision. San you can see a little bit, but it's really MMA's vision that I think is great. He's got both watchtowers. He's got San locked down on 2 bases. And we're going to see a similar game to what we saw last game, except this time, I guess he didn't get his Robo Snipe, so he's going to keep on making Colossus plus upgrades from the Double Forge.
It's a really good point that you actually bring up, though, with the vision, because yes, the watchtowers are like the normal go-to, but it's those 2 Marines on the left and the right that are really the barrier that forces nothing to get across without being spotted. It's a great, great spot.
MMA is actually working on those debris here. Might be thinking already about going for some kind of big attack flank, you know,
it's going to get
an army. And since he's been making Vikings a few at a time, he might have enough, I'm not sure, I guess. Because he's going to be behind on upgrades, and charge finally started here for San. San's execution, by the way, like his mechanics, really some of the very best in the world in this situation. Like he didn't start charge too early. He made the 3rd base, then made charge, and he made sure he had started 2-2 well early enough so that he will complete before any kind of timing could hit him. A Ghost Academy being made now. For MMA, so he's not going to wait nearly as long as he did in the previous game, even though there was Templar much earlier. That's interesting here. That's one of the things that he's going to have going for him in this game. And San, you know, I've already talked a little bit about this yesterday. He's not one of those Protosses that will start 3-3 a lot of the time. He will get a Templar Archive, and then he will just make a bunch of Archons and charge a lot on the ground to really tank for his Colossus and Stalkers to do the work. But in this game, he hasn't made it yet, so we'll see.
Yeah, it's been a slow, steady game again, but the Jets are about to be turned on very, very soon here by MMA, who's looking to push him from 2 sides. Does see the number of Colossi that he's going to be competing against there, and tends to just run away from that, doesn't want to be competing just yet. But his Viking count is rising. He's at 6, he's going to be at 8 very soon to deal with 4 Colossi. 8's not amazing, maybe like add on a few more from there, but other than that, he's already mixing in Ghosts, so his composition is going to be very well-rounded.
Ooh, San, is he going to spot the Ghosts? Yeah, I think he might have been able to see them. Didn't spot the Ghost Academy, and there is a very strong timing that MMA could go for here. I'm actually surprised that San takes the gases, by the way, and start 3-3. Oh my god, that's He's really eager here.
Yeah, very ambitious.
That's the one moment where you're going to be quite far behind in supply here as the Protoss player, and where the Tian is going to close in the upgrades. You can see MMA is about to complete 2-1. He's got +1 already on the Vikings.
If he can hold on, though, if he can hold on for a big chunk of time, then
I don't
maybe
think
he can
he
do
has
something.
Actually, MMA doesn't have enough Vikings, and maybe San identified that. Like right now, it's 8 Vikings to 5 Colossi.
It's not enough.
Which the 6-1 just came out. Oh no, it was a War Prism.
I was thinking about it in my head before as well. If we hadn't seen San go for Blink and then gone for Robo, his Colossi, he had 3 out by the time MMA even had like 2 or 4 Vikings. I wonder how well like a 2-base Colossus push from San would have worked out. But I mean, that's just theorizing for later games, because right now MMA is almost maxed out, and he does have 10 Vikings now, maybe just a sprinkling more. Unless he gets a really good engagement location with them on those Colossi to start off.
This is really cool. San cleared the right-hand side of the map with the 1 Zealot so that he could go through with the War Prism. He's looking to drop inside of that 3rd base of MMA, where there is actually no bunker, so this could do quite some damage, and MMA is going to be very committed to an attack here. At the 3rd base of San, I think he just CMP'd an Observer and sniped it, so San, he doesn't even have vision of where exactly or how the Terran's going to be engaging.
Yeah, there's one Observer just below the army, but the other one is way out of position. So if these actually do cloak up and move forwards, he has to be very, very careful about how this is going to happen. 3-3 is almost complete, but MMA is moving in before that's actually given opportunity. He's not cloaking up with his ghosts just yet, though. There is no Observer in this army, so if he were to do that, then it would work out quite nicely. Force fields have haphazardly gone down, a little bit working against the Zealots down to the bottom left, but on at the top, personal cloaking isn't even done yet. My apologies, but
it finishes as the last ghost dies, actually.
Why did he go?
MMA has been held. He wanted to go before 3-3, but he was missing some very good upgrades. And engaging into photon overcharge like this, the Stalkers were able to go to town on those Vikings very easily. And now San, does he counterattack?
That's a shame for MMA. I thought cloaking had been done for him, but it was not. So he really missed a crucial position there. The 2 Observers are now with the army as well. So this army for San has a lot of power behind it.
Yeah. And being 3-3 against just 2-1 here, he's got... actually, if he just went for a timing here, he would do so much damage, maybe even win the game right there and then.
It's 2 Vikings against 4 Colossi. How are you supposed to compete with that? I mean, he just doesn't have the units available to him to actually deal with the problem that San could throw at him.
San is chickening out. Maybe because of what happened last game. He thought he could attack, went for it, was held, and then from there he was always behind. So now, finally now, he's gearing up for a timing. He's going to be dropped at home at the same time. I mean, it's MMA, of course. This always happens.
Those Vikings are very valuable. MMA's trying to buy some time with the drop at the back. He knows he's in a little bit of an odd position. Has to be careful with this. The Stalkers are already on top of the Vikings. Vikings aren't doing anything. And he has some orbs and DTs for the defense as well. This is a great opportunity here for San to tie up the series 1-1. He's on part of the production. And the Bioboss on the right-hand side isn't doing anything just yet.
San leaves some units behind here. Maybe to be killed by those units. So MMA is just waiting for one mistake like this to kill those units, but there is a War Prism gearing up to do maybe a Warpin in the main of MMA here. So San has a lot of harassing capability. You could literally send 1 DT in that 3rd base. The 4th base from MMA is not even mining, whereas the 4th for San just finished is the gold base too.
Yeah, 3 Vikings. They've got so much work to do against this army. There's 4 Colossi here. A 5th one could be on the way very soon as well, as he's sat on top of this natural. What are you supposed to do here as MMA? Lift the command center. He's actually going to try and pursue all of this. There's not a huge amount of ground units to buffer for this. The Zealots will charge forwards. They will melt off pretty quickly. And the Bio's not doing too bad. The SCVs on the right-hand side get melted away, though. There's just too much power behind the Colossi.
Colossi are uncontested.
GG. San takes the 2nd game. Ties it up 1-1. Doesn't break a sweat.
MMA was forced into... pulling the boys, I guess, in his own way here at the end, and lost 35 pretty much instantly to those 4 bad boys Colossi. And yeah, really the timing on the 3rd base from MMA, when you're researching personal cloaking like this against a Protoss who's getting Colossi out continuously, you really don't have to rush in there unless you're absolutely sure it's going to work. So I think he could have just waited a little bit more, as you said, completed personal cloaking, made sure he scanned and sniped an Observer. And yeah, he would have done well, I think, with the Ghost being cloaked in there and EMP everything as they please. Whereas now it's really like he rushed in there, you know?
Yeah, he really did rush. You're completely right on that. Anyway, merry-go-round will be map number 3 between these two, and San pulling one back is nice, but I can't help but feel that MMA could have made more of a meal out of that game. With that engagement, how it went down. Yes, if he'd have waited for personal cloaking, maybe that would have given time for 3-3 to finish up, but at least he would have survived. At least he would have had the army intact. There was a lot of ghosts in the army to actually, you know, keep those alive, and for later fights would have been very, very useful.
Feels like MMA's game plan this series is just pretty much standard. You know, like he's gonna try to do some specific build orders sometimes, like with the first game when he went for the quick 2 Hellions, you know, and the gas first. But overall, he's just looking to drop here and there, keep on macroing, take 3rd bases, 4th bases. Always go for double eBay, never pull SCVs, and this could play right into San's hands. If he's able to defend as well as he was here a lot of the time, and MMA loses patience once or twice, then San's just always going to capitalize on it.
It being merry-go-round, all sorts of things can happen here. We all know how hard it can be to claim that 3rd sometimes. Anyway, let's get into it. Spawning down to the southern position as our red Terran. Representing Team Acer, it is MMA. He believes he can win this tournament, but he'll have to go through San first, who is spawning up to the top left-hand corner. It is our blue Protoss representing Yo Flash Wolves. It's San.
The double introduction.
I was hoping no one noticed.
I did. All right, on merry-go-rounds, this is definitely one of the maps where they could do something special / crazy, both of them. Don't you think?
Special or crazy?
Yeah,
Special, yeah.
Some Oracle play, like a quick 3rd base sometimes.
It's normally what I expect out of San, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But at the same time...
If there is a map, though, they could do it. Definitely is this. And it looks like MMA. CC first here, I'm thinking already.
Yeah, could get away with that.
Depot in the middle line, and somebody who doesn't really ever scout early on all that often. Did it in the previous game. So if he does it again here, he's going to be able to see what's up. And then, I mean, if you see a command center first, there is not much you can do if you've opened standard like San has here. You can maybe make a Zealot, which you can boost, cut gas, and then get a quick Nexus, but that's about it, you know?
Yeah, and he may even get super unlucky if he did scout, he could actually go up to the top right and then be in all sorts of problems in regards to actually having the information.
And he didn't.
Yeah,
he didn't at all.
He's just chilling out. Playing his own game, getting into gas, finishing that wall off so he can deny any kind of Reaper positioning going around. But in the end, that's not even going to be coming anytime soon. So, there you go.
I wonder if MMA is just going to want to look to play this, you know, with the 3 racks standard behind this, where you take 2 medivac, you get sometimes a very quick 3rd too with it. And yeah, it's pretty nice, I think, to go for this against somebody like San, who doesn't scout early on. Another thing, actually, that you can do that maybe is saving for later, against somebody who doesn't scout on 13, you 2 racks, and you win almost every single time, because he's only going to have a mothership core without photon overcharge against a bunch of Marines and SCVs. The first Stalker is going to come out really late, and then you just die a lot of the time. It's especially depends on the map, too. I guess merry-go-round, not that bad, but not the best map to do it on either. And I mean, even the Muslim beat Stardust with the 2 racks previously at Gfinity. So
even the Muslim.
After he listened to me, I told him, man, Stardust doesn't scout, just 2 racks. He did it and won.
Even the Muslim can win. Well, there you go.
He's gonna hate me for this.
Yeah, I think so. But anyway, MMA has found himself a nice, neat little scout out. He's already spotted that Nexus at the natural, so knows where his opponents spawn, know that pretty much exactly what build has gone on, and he didn't even reveal that this SCV had been spotted. So poor little San has no idea.
Whoa, the racks are flying back for a second. Oh, the 3rd CC.
What the? Why were they flying over there? That was weird.
He didn't like the position.
What, the 1 square to the right?
Yeah, man, it's MMA.
I guess so. That was interesting.
He likes to get it perfect. And that probably on the map could be for a hidden Dark Shrine maybe here, since San has gone for a Twilight Council. A lot of the time you go Twilight Council on this map, or almost every time actually, it's going to be for Blink, which on this map is a must. Especially against somebody like MMA who loves to drop it. Right now, the problem for San is that he has no idea what his opponent is up to, and MMA going into a 3rd orbital, as much as this is greedy, against DTs is ideal. If he has 3 orbitals to scan for DTs, it's like Christmas, man.
Yeah, that's a really, really good point. As that Twilight Council is about to finish up.
All that will be missing is maybe gaining experience from killing those DTs. Then he would have some very high-level heroes, but I guess that's for another game.
Yes, it is. San's preparing himself with these Stalkers just to make sure he could deny any scout or something like that, and just deny any observation from MMA to try and read into what's going on. Because right now he doesn't have that many units invested in through gas, so if he got in there and saw not that many units, only a Twilight Council, not even worrying away, then the game will be up, the jig will be up, MMA would know.
I'm surprised he didn't go for a robo, actually. Usually when you go for DTs like this, you get a robo and then you do a DT drop, not DTs at the front.
Yeah.
But remember what I talked about in the previous game. MMA does not do much scouting. He doesn't scan much. In the previous game, the only moment he scanned was when there was the double forge going up and there was already a Twilight, like very late into the game.
Oh, jeez.
So if there had been DTs in the previous game, it would have been great. But now it's the other way around. MMA somehow smells that there could be something like this coming. He's like, well, a turret is only 100 minerals. I'm going to have triple mules to work with anyway.
Yeah.
So he gets the turrets, scans the main. I think he saw pretty much everything there was to see. He saw the Twilight, double gateway, and the robo. So now MMA already in a great position in this game.
Yeah, the robo being very late means that he's just slowly preparing. He's actually walling off a little bit of that. It won't be full wall off by the time these Dark Templar... Oh, it actually could be! Those SCVs, they're moving into position. They get the full wall off. And that Dark Templar has no opportunity.
He does have a scan as well.
Well, breaks through a little bit, but in the end, they get pushed away.
He scanned too early. A lot of the units were in the main, maybe expecting an Oracle.
Replacing with a missile turret, and he has the energy for more scans, I believe. Does he across these? No, very close, 7 seconds. So that missile turret is not going to finish up, but second time you will have another scan available to him.
Ooh, MMA was hoping that that DT will stay inside the range of that turret, but it didn't. There is a scan available, so this DT shouldn't be able to do much here.
Yeah, ideally has to use it on the one in the main. The one at the natural had to deal with a missile turret at the mineral line, so had a hard time really doing anything there. And does he have any more scans left over? 1 in 4 seconds, so...
Oh my god, those DTs are still being pretty annoying. Somehow, even though there was one turret ready and a bunch of scans, but I mean, 51 probes to 49 SCV is not really where you want to be at this point in the game. Here for San. Late Robo Bay, DT tech that didn't really do anything, and now he's going into a single forge. This is not going super well, not a disaster either, you know. He's killed a few units here, and they're actually going to do a DT drop, but now there is a turret in the main from MMA, anticipating it was a possibility.
Yeah, he's looking all right here so far. That Dark Templar tries to worm its way in, but will be shooed away promptly. Get out of there would be nice, so you can use it for another day. But everything lining up for a few more gateways going down for San. How many workers is he actually on? He's on 55. I'm under the impression he wants to try and transition over to that third base eventually. There we go.
Yeah, he's going to start that and just going to Colossus Blink standard. Not many observers are on the map, just one right now. And since he's already going to Colossus production, you can't really halt that to get more observers. So that's going to be in trouble against an MMA who's been doing really well with drops, you know. Some Terrans, they just sit back or they just attack left and right like Polt, but MMA, where he shines the most is with the drops. And on a map like this, you give him a map like Merry-Go-Round, he's going to want to look to fly into the main, fly into the natural, and attack the third base at the same time. So San is going to have to be careful. And look, he's already sent a probe at the top side.
Exactly. Compensating for the fact that he can't get more observers out at this point because he has to commit that more to the Colossus production, as you mentioned. So MMA's War Machine, though, is gearing up. His third base is now up and running. He's got extra barracks finished up and good to go. And second starport, all importantly.
Very, very important. Actually, like there is a timing here that he could do when he has enough Vikings to deal with the Colossi to attack that third base, which on this map is basically the most exposed third base of all time in all of RTS games.
Yeah, it's pretty exposed, you're right. There's a very, very wide open area to be able to just put on the pressure there. Technically, San's vision on the map is not too bad, actually. He's got a warp prism up to the top right. He's going to send that in once again. He's putting down pylons on the left-hand side, so he is protected against like drops being sneaky, but a frontal assault is something that can his army kind of equate against. It's going to be hard.
San definitely needs a bit of a gateway explosion here. He's added on at least one more, which is unusual. Usually as Protoss, you know, you make them 2x2 or 3x3 or even more. In terms of production, I guess he's doing okay. Army-wise, you know, 59 to 73. But again, as soon as there is going to be enough Vikings, if MMA does the timing, this is going to be in trouble for San.
Yeah, his army supply is rocketing up now. 83 against 63.
Making Vikings 4x4 is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very quick. He's on 6 already. He's going to be on 10 very, very soon.
No second armory and no no second eBay, no Amori. So I think MMA is definitely going for a timing. We might see the first boys being pulled here out of him, maybe.
Could do. And it's going to be really, really deadly if he actually does do that.
Yeah, he's scanning.
Yeah, here we go. Here we go. He sees what he's going to go up against.
He just saw the entire army of San. He saw that there was only 4 Colossi. He knows that there is an Archon as well, but I don't think he cares. He's going to have way too much. In terms of army,
massive.
105 to 79 with all the buffer from those SCVs.
All the boys coming to the party. San has to be very, very careful. He's got to back up his ramp. He knows he can't hold the third base.
Does MMA go up there? Against sentries there as well?
He's got to
go into the third base. I guess he has to.
Yeah, I mean, this is the best place for a Protoss to try and hold on against this on a map like this. SCVs go forward, and he actually gives up the control of the ramp. So this entire Bioforce has been able to get up here pretty fast. It's already doing work on the Colossi numbers.
San is pulling the girls.
The Colossus very spread out themselves here. There's quite a lot of firepower still available here to San, but he doesn't have that many gateway forces. Even the ground units here could potentially get on top of these Colossi. GG MMA hits it with pristine timing. And it's 2-1. There's a favorite here in the studio today. There's a favorite for the entire tournament. And that man is MMA. He's the crowd favorite here. Looking good so far. 1 game away from the best of 7 final.
I never should have doubted his capability of pulling the boys.
No.
I thought he was too shy to do it, but I guess he's not that shy in the
What do you
end.
think, though, about San actually giving up control of the ramp? Because he did very, very quickly there. He gave it up for the, I guess, advantage in inverted commas of having a very wide concave himself.
What do you mean?
Because you said that he had opportunity to throw down force fields on the ramp sentries.
I thought he had more than one. I think he might have had just one, with which he made a hallucinated Colossus and then Guardian shielded. It's a big investment to go for sentries at this time because you need your gas to go for better stuff like Archon. So I guess in the end I agree with his choice of basically not force fielding and going for the Photon Overcharge plus Time Warp and yeah, the big spread out concave, because if MMA moves up, like for 1 second here, I thought MMA was going to be in trouble because you move up that ramp, everything's going to be clumped up, the Colossi. They die fast, but they kill everything on the ground at the same time. Like they don't all die at the same time. So there was a lot of damage output here from San. Maybe he pulled probes a little bit late and also didn't really attack the Vikings as well as he could have, not only with the Photon Overcharge, but and with the Stalkers as well. But yeah, there was just way too much here by MMA for San to hold, even though he put a great effort into it.
It's a little bit difficult for me sometimes, even when casting those engagements, to see exactly how well the Stalkers are focusing down on them. I think the Factory was even there blocking my vision. So overall, a bit of a hard time there for San. King Sage on Station will be our next map. Does San now do something tricky? He has to...
He should try to play more standard. I mean, he did well in one of the games just playing standard. And in the previous game, it's really the DT opener that made him only have 1 observer.
True.
And he couldn't scout the double starport. The counter to double starport is not Mass Colossus. It's Templar transition with a lot of charge loss, which in this case he didn't have. So just play standard. That's what he's best at. You know, it's nice to play some mind games here and there with an opener, but you should always try and do what you're best at. And MMA actually is very good at mixing it up very well, and he showed that again.
Let's get into it then. Game number 4, as we have the man up to the top left, currently 1 game away from the grand final. Representing Team Acer, it is MMA. And down to the bottom right-hand corner, potentially 1 game away from elimination here in the round of 4. It's our blue Protoss representing Yo Flash Wolves. It is San.
If there is a map we could be seeing something special on, it's also King Sejong Station, I think. Be it a 2 racks or again some kind of proxy target out of San, but I think both players are going to be pretty wary of that. But San, a lot more so than MMA, seems very stubborn with his late scouting versus Terran. You know, you see Protosses like Zest that every single game will scout at 13 after a gateway. And then there is guys like San who very rarely will do it, and that leaves them exposed to quite a few builds. But Gas first here once again by MMA. He knows he can exploit the lack of scouting from his opponent early on, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna see something like the double Hellion that he went for last time.
Well, just adding on that barracks after the gas. And San has a mountain to climb here. MMA. If he goes for something like, you know, just a Hellion to look around, see if there's any kind of, you know, proxy action going on, something like that. We already saw that being very successful in the
double
past.
gas
And
the probe going to the same position.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Okay, no, he's going to the right-hand side.
Uh-oh.
Where are you going, probe?
This probe's going to get jiggy with it.
He's going to proxy somewhere else. Just right there, maybe. San, what are you up to?
He could put this anywhere.
He's doing 2+3 so far. Yeah, 3+3 on gases. He's going to be the same thing. A proxied Stargate on King Sejong Station. I told you, man.
You told me. You said it. You did.
Special things. Special mind games, special tactics.
Oh, you said it. Oh, I was hoping you wouldn't go there.
When I said special things.
I was like, no, don't do it. Don't do it,
Everybody on the internet and on Twitch was thinking the same thing.
Yes, they were. Yes, they were. Well, San, sneaky guy, had to do something because MMA was looking solid.
Yeah, this is very scary for San because MMA, I think he wants to go into the double Hellion, much like in the first game.
I was thinking that.
If double Hellion gets into his main and he doesn't have the photon overcharge, good luck with one Stalker killing those boys without losing 1,000 probes. And then it's all about the Oracle doing damage. But already having a reactored factory, MMA can just make Widow Mines and be okay. But I guess if he does not see this coming at all, which he shouldn't because he hasn't gone for any scouts, the Oracle could still do a lot of damage, but I feel like the Hellions almost always are going to do more damage than an Oracle.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult. I mean, you won't really have too much to deal with it. There was a Stalker just finished up at the back, so that will slowly take them down if they come along, but...
Yeah, slowly is the word.
Yeah, definitely. As that Stargate is now finished up, Oracle's on the way. Chrono Boost straight into it. A lot of gas has gone into this. A lot of commitment gone into this here for San. Oh, the Stalker's actually moving out completely as well.
Yeah, it's going to go... Those Hellions are going to go right past it. And seeing a Stalker out on the map like this might be a bit of a tell. And San he's planning a transition, by the way. He's made another proxy pylon.
Oh my god.
And he's looking to make something else there, but I feel like this is probably not even going to come into play in this game. He already has double Widow Mine on the way. MMA needs to pull the SCVs away from the middle line here, maybe to try and save some of them.
Yeah, very little anti.
Hello, probes.
He wants to get on that Stalker as well. If he could get on it, tries to block off here, but at the same time, those Hellions are now going to go for. Wait a minute, SCVs, where are you going? The Marines killed the Stalker.
Oh, what is going on here? MMA getting the much better end of that deal here. He's going to fry probes left and right. Already 6 have died for 4 SCVs.
He's already killed more workers than the Oracle ever has. The SCVs are retreating out. Yes, he lost a lot of mining time because the SCVs are just running across the other side of the map. Where are they going? Go back to mining now. The Widow Mines can protect you guys. But
they were confused. They were going to counterattack. He was pulling the boys to the next level.
That was truly pulling the boys there. There was one Widow Mine connection, getting a good hit to start things off. Second Widow Mine's already burrowed, looking to protect the boys.
10 probes have died for only 4 SCVs.
Get back to work. Okay, pulls away again. He hasn't been mining for ages. How many workers did he kill? 11 with those Hellions.
Yeah. And then one more Hellion will find its way across the map. Warp Gate just finished, but I mean, just a single gate up for San here. He's about to get a second Stalker, so I guess that's going to help.
Get back to mining SCVs. Oh, they were just sitting around there for a while, but again, it's so difficult.
Oh, you will be an awful boss, man.
I'm a cruel taskmaster, but yeah, I'm just sending them to their deaths. Oracle's leering around. He has to have some income, though, because he has to do something in this game. He needs to shoot us away.
MMA just started another SCV and Marine, so he's kind of broke for now. Somehow these Oracles not doing too bad.
Oh, the Widow Mine's going to intercept any
The Stalkers are moving across the map, and the Hellions are going to go for the probes again.
But the Widow Mine, the splash, it's real. He gets the Stalker. Well, there's another one on the way though as well. Those 2 Hellions have a lot to do. That one bunker finishing up.
The Hellions across the map are going to kill everything.
Yeah, he's not going to have any defense.
San is all in. He's going to walk past this bunker, but I think MMA can just exit this bunker, pull the boys, I guess.
It's a good choice to move around. He actually wants to try and get on top of them. Oh! Big splash damage there as well onto the second Oracle too. And he's got very few probes left over. He's killed 20 against killing 9. MMA right now is 20 supply up, but he needs to find stability in this mineral line.
Yeah, I think he's going to soon. He's waiting for that Widow Mine to reload here, getting more Hellions. He's going to make sure he can kill the Stalkers on the ground, and then the Oracle's going to be easy peasy with the Widow Mines and Marines that he's going to have. Actually, no, he's going to go for a counter-attack into SCVs are long-distance mining. What's happening? Is he going to take the natural?
I guess just do that and make the Stalkers walk past the bunker again. Anything here to try and solve this puzzle, and why not be that way? As those 4 Hellions are going to cause it. They're going to kill every single probe.
That's one Stalker, man. Good luck. You have to be the hero if you want to win.
Yeah. You need to do some sick blocking. No, you failed. GG. All right, so probes, they're going to die. It's going to be very, very difficult here for San to really make a full recovery because he has no more income. The only few units he has are these ones. There's another Oracle on the way. He's putting all his hopes on these Oracles.
Yeah, he knows that
No
there's
probes.
a Widowmine in the middle line. No probes are left alive.
3 Stalkers and 2 Oracles are going to have to save the life of San here in this tournament.
No
Otherwise,
probes.
MMA goes to the grand final.
No probes, man. This is over. MMA doesn't take prisoners.
There's just there's no way. It's so difficult. He loses one of the Stalkers. He loses 2 other Stalkers. Oracles get going. Oh, one of them already dies off to a Widowmine. Oh, this is catastrophic here for San, as this last Oracle dying very soon is going to mean his death. MMA is on the way. It's been a weird game, but GG well played. MMA makes it to the grand finals. It will be a TvT. MMA finds himself in another grand finals of WCS Europe with a 3-1 over San. Great performance here by MMA. A way to move on to that grand final, defeating San, one of the most dangerous players in WCS Europe. He falls out in the round of 4 once again. Unfortunately, his road this tournament comes to an end, but MMA moving on to the final, giving us your dream TvT finals, Todd.
Definitely a little bit fortunate with the build order here, but I feel like he didn't, it's not like he didn't try to provoke that luck, you know. He probably thought, well, if San does that build again, going for a quick factory will be very nice. I will fry some probes, I will have Widowmines back at home, ready to defend, and then in the end, he just walked out well enough for him to come out ahead with all the probes dying and him having enough SCVs surviving that he could have a little bit of an economy to stay in the game and win.
It was a tough one in the end, a very tough one. Really a little bit of a strange game to come down to the very, very wire there in the end. But MMA is victorious. Moving on, that means our finals are confirmed as Yoda from TCM will be going up against Acer MMA in a TvT finals. It's been a while since we've had one of those.
Is it time to be honest again?
It's time to be honest, Todd. It's time to be honest. And without further ado, I think we can send it over to Mr. Redeye with MMA.
Thank you very much. With MMA, well done. Congratulations. Another fantastic win. Talk us through how you've destroyed yet another player in this WCS Europe.
어떻게 또한 엄청 잘하는 선수를 이겼는지 MMA 선수께서 직접 설명을 해주세요.
저도 산 선수가 정말 잘하는 선수라서 어떻게 이기지라는 생각을 했는데 제가 한번 이겨본 기억이 있었잖아요. 베스트 오브 5에서. 그래서 뭔가 약간 불안하면서도 마음이 편하더라고요. 준비하는데. 그래서 좀 편하게 했던 게 좀 경기가 잘 풀렸던 것 같아요.
I knew that San is a really, really good player, but I faced him once in WCS in a best of 5, so I could actually go into those games a little bit more relaxed because I knew what would come to me.
Okay. Did the way that you played today have any bearing on what you did yesterday? You said you had to kind of mix things up yesterday. Did you feel the same about San, or was it a different approach?
어제는 좀 생각지도 못한 빌드를 이렇게 좀 PD 와가지고 썼다고 그랬었는데 오늘도 좀 그런 게 있었는지 아니면 준비할 때 이번엔 좀 다른 생각을 하면서 준비를 했었는지.
오늘도 빌드를 오늘 여기 와서 짰어요. 어제 그냥 VOD만 보고 오늘 맵이 뭐가 좋을까, 어차피 제거하는 건 똑같잖아요. 테란들은 뭐 데드윙 제거하고 토스는 님버스 제거하니까 5맵 중에서 이제 순서를 골라서 가장 좋은 빌드랑 상대 다전제에서 판짜기를 어떻게 해야 좀 심리전에서 좀 앞설까 생각을 하고 빌드를 짰는데 그게 좀 잘 먹혔던 것 같아요. 그리고 카탈레나에서 1경기에서 쓴 빌드를 엑시오 모트 선수가 추천해줬는데 굉장히 고맙네요.
Actually, I came here today in the morning and made my build orders for today, and because I knew that we wouldn't play a Deadwing and 딴 맵이 뭐였죠? Nimbus and Deadwing, because Protoss would veto out Nimbus and I would veto out Deadwing. So I knew which maps to play, so I prepared every map and what I would play on these maps, and I think it worked out pretty well for me. And also on Catalina, that build order, Axiom Heart actually gave me that build order, and I'm really thankful to him.
Okay, yeah, nice stuff. Again, another final. You've had a very good 2014. It's got better and better and better. You were worried at one point about going to BlizzCon. That doesn't matter anymore. You're definitely going to BlizzCon. In your third final, how much does it mean to you now, knowing that you're already going to BlizzCon, to win another WCS Europe title?
처음에는 이제 이번에 블리즈컨을 갈 수 있을지 안 갈 수 있을지 그런 걱정도 했었고 그랬었는데 점점 이제 실력이 좋아지면서 결과도 좋아지면서 블리즈컨도 이제 확정이 되고 이번에 세 번째로 WCS 유럽 파이널을 가게 되는데 얼마나 이 파이널을 이기고 싶은지 말해주세요.
요다 선수랑 좀 잘 아는 사이라서 몰랐으면 좋았을 텐데 이번에 제마우스 놀러가 좀 친해졌어요. 아 괜히 친해졌어요. 그래서 농담이고요. 요다 선수랑 좀 서로 잘 알아서 어떤 경기가 나올지 모르겠는데 잘 해야죠.
So actually I've I got close to Yoda because I actually went to the Gem House and played with the Gem people, and I kind of regret that that I got friends with Yoda, because now I have to face him in the finals, and it will be really hard and also interesting to play against him because we know each other so well. And yeah, I'll try my best.
Okay, last question. Is Yoda harder to play against than MC or easier?
MC보다 쉽냐고? MC보다 쉽냐고?
MC가 아니면 요다가 더 쉽네요.
둘 다 쉽지.
Both are pretty easy.
Ah, you're supposed to... See, I thought you were going to go for one, but both is easy. That's fine, I can take that, that's very good. Okay, congratulations, MMA. MMA is through to the grand final.
He wants to say something.
Oh, you want to say something? Okay.
혹시나 또 결승에서 지면 인터뷰를 못하니까 지금 얘기하고 싶은데 이번에 준비하면서 많은 선수들이 도와줬는데 하스덤 선수랑 그리고 대무슬림 선수 그리고 크랭크 선수랑 그리고 헐트 선수가 많이 도와줬는데 감사합니다.
So in case I lose in the finals and don't get an interview, I want to thank the Muslim, Hastem, Crank, and Hart for helping me in my practice games. So really a lot of thanks to them.
그리고 하나 더 라스트. 제가 지금 한국 액션 숙소에서 살고 있는데 정말 오래됐어요. 근데 그 토탈 비스킷과 제나가 계속 끊임없이 지원해 주니까 제가 계속 게이머를 이어갈 수 있는 것 같아요. 저번에도 말했지만 이 자리를 빌어서 또 한번 감사드립니다.
And also a lot of thanks to Total Biscuit and Jenna Bain, because they always support me when I'm in Korea, because I can live in the Axiom house and train there with the Axiom guys, so a lot of thanks to them.
Last. And my boss Ubo and Fred, Hun, thank you.
Are you done? So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the MMA show, where things are only green and white. MMA, congratulations. He's through to the grand final yet again here in WCS Europe, and he'll go up against TCM's Yoda after the break. Don't miss it.